How y'all doing? Welcome back to my channel, Manifesting Greatness. Now I'm on my way to work, and I felt inspired to make this video for you guys. Now this is going to be a reminder, if anything. You already know how I operate. You know I got to dish out the reminder videos, and this reminder is going to be a huge one. So do whatever you got to do to retain the information. I don't care if you have to, well, I'm about to walk through this person's garden. Nah. Do whatever you got to do to retain the information. I don't care if you have to play this 100 times over. I don't care if you have to take notes. Do whatever you got to do, because this video is very, very important. Okay, there's going to be a couple of things. The first thing we're going to start off with, the reminder of refrain from reacting to the best of your ability. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Easier said than done. You know what? I agree with you. That might be a little interesting on your end. Hearing a manifestation teacher, coach, mentor agree with you on that matter. I am fully aware that people deal with things in their own different ways. People have different things that they're going through, etc., etc. I get that. I understand. I've been through the ringer multiple times across the young 28 years of my life. I know what it's like to be at your wit's end. I know what it's like to be at the bottom of the barrel and feel like nothing's working and nothing's happening. I get it. I've been there. Trust me when I tell you that. But I'm telling you this with 100% confidence and certainty. If you continue reacting over and over again to the 3D, to the quote-unquote negatives as they show up internally and externally, all you're doing is saturating yourself, your consciousness, your subconscious, etc., with the end result of what you don't want, aka you are living from the end predominantly involving what you don't want. This is why a lot of the times, especially recently, I've been discussing heavily self-regulation. Self-regulation is so helpful. The simple act of when you're in the moment dealing with frustration, anxiety, the simple act of closing your eyes, placing your hands over your heart, and taking a nice deep breath a couple of times over, and just doing what you can to calm yourself down goes a long way. Instead of, I'm dealing with frustration, I'm just going to react to it. Right off the bat, I'm not going to indulge with anything, or rather, I'm not going to indulge anything, engage with anything that's going to help me out in the moment. Do your best to stop reacting, remain non-reactive to the best of your ability, and I promise you, your life will end up in such a better way, okay? Now, that's reminder number one. Reminder number two, and I just briefly talked about this moments ago, living from the end. Living from the end. To live from the end. You want to be living from the end predominantly involving what you want as opposed to what you don't want. And living from the end isn't you forcing yourself to do affirmations 24/7. It's not you coming from a place of force. It's not you coming from a place of manipulating the 3D. And it's most certainly not you coming from a place of aggression and anger and frustration, and a place of trying to make something happen. You guys don't realize it, but trying is the same equivalent to not doing. It's the same equivalent to assuming internally that you do not believe, have faith, trust, etc. You do not have confidence in what you're actually doing. So keep that in mind. That's a reminder in of itself. I may have to make a whole video on that topic. But getting back to what I was saying, you just need to make it predominant. Even if it's just 51% of the time, I guarantee you, you will start experiencing results, and it will start internally first, and then it will seep its way into the external. Now, living from the end is something you're always doing. It's not something you just turn on and off. I would highly suggest you check out my most recent video prior to this one. It's a live that I did involving living from the end. If you check that video out, take notes, because I guarantee you some kind of light bulb will ding off involving living from the end in that aspect of things. But anyways, I'm going to clarify it here again. It's not a technique. It's not something you just sometimes do. It's something you're always doing. You're always living from the end. You're always living from the end involving something. You're always focusing from the end involving something. You're always either focusing on something you want or something that you don't want, right? And then sometimes you'll focus on neutral things, such as subconsciously assuming that you're able to breathe air or have blood be pumped throughout your veins, subconsciously believing that, etc., right? That's a necessity for our survival, so that makes sense. But in terms of like manifesting an SP or manifesting a sum of money or incredible riches, incredible health, you need to make it predominant. It has to be predominant. If it's not predominant, you're going to experience difficulties, okay? So allow that to sink in. You're always living from the end. And if you want to propel yourself to live from the end involving what you want as opposed to what you don't want even more so, then you need to be consistent with the mindset work daily. Be consistent. Come from a place of love, okay? And this leads me to my final reminder. And when I say be consistent with the mindset work, I'm talking about disciplining yourself, remaining mindful, staying on top of your thoughts to the best of your ability, doing the techniques, engaging with the techniques, the affirmations, the conscious affirmations, the sleep tapes, the meditations, whatever you feel inclined to engage with. That's what I mean. Now, the final reminder I have for you, okay? The final reminder, you know what? I'm going to switch this up a little bit. Final reminder I have for you is when you're going about the process of manifesting, living from the end, and things of that nature, it's important to understand that this is not a process of I'm doing this just to get something. I think that's even more important than the reminder I initially had for you, to be honest with you. That's even more important. You're not doing this just to get something. You're doing this to change your energy. You're doing this to change who you are, who you perceive yourself in every way, shape, and form on a core foundational level. You're changing your self-concept. You're changing your self-identity. You're not doing this just to get something. You're not a damn dog doing a trick to get a treat. You ain't Scooby-Doo. You know what I'm saying? Understand that. All right? You're doing this to change who you are on a core foundational level and then some, all right? Let these reminders sink in, guys. Feel free to check the first pinned comment down below, all right? Have links to other social media accounts, contact information if you want coaching. I actually have a couple deals going on. So, yeah, have a beautiful rest of the day, guys. Take care, stay safe. Much love, peace.